74,000 years ago, humans lived scattered across the earth in small groups, surviving without cities, borders, or written knowledge. They followed animals across open land, searched for plants, and depended entirely on the rhythms of nature to stay alive. Fire was their greatest possession because it provided warmth, protection, cooked food, and a sense of safety during long nights. Life was dangerous, but it had balance, and humans had slowly learned how to live within the limits of the world around them. Families stayed close, communities worked together, and survival depended on cooperation rather than strength. Each day was uncertain, but the future still felt possible. Humans adapted to cold, heat, and hunger through experience passed down by memory and instinct. They had no idea that the planet itself was preparing something far worse than anything they had faced before. Far beyond their sight, forces beneath the earth were silently growing stronger. Humanity was living on borrowed time without knowing it. Far from where humans lived, deep beneath the land we now call Indonesia, immense pressure had been building for thousands of years. The earth stored energy silently, waiting for a moment when it could no longer remain contained. Then, without warning, the ground split open in a violent eruption that reshaped the land forever. A massive volcano exploded with a force greater than any eruption humans had ever witnessed. Rivers of molten rock poured across the surface, destroying everything in their path. Ash blasted high into the sky, rising far beyond the clouds. The sound of the eruption traveled across vast distances, echoing through the world. But the fire itself was not the greatest danger humanity faced. What followed would affect every corner of the planet. The sky began to change in ways no human could understand. The ash spread across the atmosphere and slowly blocked sunlight from reaching the Earth's surface. Days grew darker, colder, and shorter as the warmth of the sun weakened year after year. Seasons lost their meaning, and summer no longer brought reliable growth or warmth. Plants struggled to survive without sunlight, and many died before they could recover. Animals that depended on those plants began to disappear across large regions. Entire ecosystems collapsed in silence, leaving empty land behind. The Earth entered a long volcanic winter that lasted for years. For humans, this meant fewer animals to hunt and fewer plants to gather. Hunger became a constant presence in everyday life. The world that once supported humanity was slowly turning against it. As food became scarce, small human groups were pushed closer to their limits. Many people did not survive the cold, the hunger, or the exhaustion. Families were forced to make impossible choices in order to stay alive. Some groups disappeared completely, leaving no trace behind. Scientists believe that during this period, the total human population fell to just a few thousand individuals. Those survivors were spread thin across the entire planet. Humanity had never been so close to extinction before or since. One harsh winter, one failed hunt, or one lost fire could end everything. There was no help coming, and no way to escape the changing world. This was the moment when humanity's future nearly ended before history even began. What allowed humans to survive was not strength, speed, or intelligence alone, but cooperation. They stayed together in small groups instead of facing the world alone. They shared food even when there was barely enough to survive. They protected fire with their lives, knowing it meant warmth and hope. Knowledge was passed through stories, memory, and experience. Parents protected children, and communities protected one another. Humans waited through years of darkness without knowing if conditions would ever improve. Slowly, the ash began to settle, and the sky started to clear. Sunlight returned in small amounts, bringing warmth back to the land. Life gave humanity one final chance to continue. Plants slowly returned to the land, and animals followed not long after. Human populations began to grow again, carrying the memory of survival forward. Every human alive today descends from those few thousand survivors. Their endurance lives inside your body and your instincts. We often believe extinction happens suddenly, but for humans, it arrived quietly and slowly. The story of humanity is not about conquering the planet, but surviving it.
We are here because we endured when the world nearly erased us. That ancient struggle shaped who we are today, and the fact that you are watching this now is proof that humanity survived its darkest moment. If you were alive during that age of darkness, do you believe you would have survived, or would fear have taken over? Share your thoughts in the comments below.